We found Solar Sphinx S5! It's time to rise up! Hello everyone! So today is going to be a really awesome day because we get to take a look at a really cool Hasbro Beyblade Burst Rise product. It is an attack type. This is Solar Sphinx S5. So what I'm so happy is that Sphinx, a really, not really that good Hasbro exclusive in the past, has gotten a Rise evolution. So I always did love Sphinx. I thought the design of Sphinx was really cool. And it was a shame that the Bay kind of just didn't perform that well. We're gonna see now in this video how well this one performs. So please hashtag Solar Beam in the comment section and hashtag Sphinx. And also tell me your thoughts on this Bay. The design looks really nice. The mock weight, which sometimes I say mock weight, but it's basically just because how the weights are just fused to the bases now. It is supposed to be Zan. So I guess it would have been, if this was like a normal GT Bay, it'd be called Solar Sphinx, whatever the other parts are, Zan. It looks nice. So obviously the chip looks really cool. The new base, Solar, that's a Hasbro exclusive base. And not only do we get the new chip, but we even get a new base. Next up, we've got the 6th disc, which is like, why are we still getting this to this day? It's a little bit weird. Then after, we of course got the performance tip, which is TH01. But yeah, it looks really nice. So obviously now going to the back, all right, the stats for the Hypersphere, we've got 5 and 1. It's right rotating, and it's an attack type, D4 to 9, TH01. And make sure to download the app. The app is really cool, and we'll be able to, after this video, you'll be able to download the Bay. So let's just get started. Also, before I forget to mention, I still love how in every Rise product, you just got this cool, like, manga-esque design. So I'm always gonna give props to that in every single video because that is honestly the best I've seen for a Beyblade design. Looks so cool. All right, anyways, opening it. So I have Solar Sphinx out of the packaging. I will still say I love the design of this. So this is what the GT... You see, it's called a Layerweight in Japanese, but they call it... It's so weird they call it a GT chip. Whatever. The GT chip is Sphinx. What I do like about it is that it does look very nice. I like the design of it. Very much like, what do you call it? It's like a Pharaoh vibe that I'm getting off this chip. I think really cool. And when you compare it to the original one, I think the design is improved. I like the colors and everything. I also like the initial of S there. I thought that was a nice touch. Overall, it looks fine. And, you know, the fake layerweight, which not really like a fake layerweight, it's just sort of like the fused on layerweight. Is that more proper to say, I guess? It's just Zan. And I guess that's fine. That's usually what they put on the attack types. The paint job for it does look nice. I will at least admit that because when you can tell from this view, if I were to tell you that, if I never said that it wasn't metal, you'd probably be like, what? It's not. But yeah, taking it apart, it does look pretty nice. So the thing is though, despite this being new, obviously, Hasbro Rise Beyblades are not compatible with TAKARA TOMY. So if you are thinking, oh, I can make Solar X Bay, Y Bay, no. Hasbro exclusive, Hasbro only. Rise is modified designs completely. You can't customize it like that. But moving on, let's get this little chip thing out. All right, so I got the chip out. These are what the slopes look like as this camera does focus. So yeah, these are what the slopes look like now that we can kind of see. Those are what the slopes look like. Pretty easy to see. So I'm just going to move it and flip it over. So that's Sphinx. We have our new base. So I'm just going to call it base, whatever you call it. The energy layer. It is Solar. It has multiple blades. So this kind of reminds me, Solar kind of reminds me of Venom in a way. Or I'm just going to say it. Venom. Let me actually find my Venom Diabolo. Actually, it's not even really Venom Diabolos. Solar kind of looks like the reverse of Erase. I got my Erase Diabolos right here. It kind of looks like the reverse of that, but the blades are a little bit shorter down. Overall, this looks pretty cool. 6 is like a dumb disc. I don't know. Why not? Alright, so just wanted to show it out of the packaging. So first off, altogether, Solar Sphinx does look so beautiful. I love the design of it. Like, the one thing I'm going to say is that the design for these Hasbro exclusives look really nice. Good paint job on this, looks really cool. Also love the S that they have right there. That's really a nice touch. It looks really cool. Now the base shape does really remind me of sort of like Erase from Erase Diabolos. I'm talking about TAKARA TOMY right now, not Hasbro. It's sort of like the reverse shape of Erase in a way, except the blades are a little bit shorter and it's a little bit different. It does look pretty cool, Solar. I don't know, I just like it. So now, before I show the slopes for the stuff and whatever, 6 is like a meh disc, I'm gonna be honest right now. And the thing is too now, I can't even talk about performance tips in the same way, because performance tips have been changed a lot. Because look, let me take this out. So Hasbro has really modified the designs on this stuff. So for an example, this is the energy layer. I'm just going to say the layer base because I don't want to keep on getting confused myself. So this is a layer base, this is Solar. It does look really cool. Nothing obviously on the bottom, just kind of like hollow without it, right? And it has already the fused on ZANKYE. Now with the chip, the GT chip, Sphinx, the slopes aren't too bad. Slopes are actually better than the original Sphinx, if I can actually show. The original Sphinx has really bad slopes. Like, the really bad slopes I remember from Turbo was like Sphinx, Dullahan, Rooter. I think Sphinx was probably the worst though. I just also realized that both of these actually have 6. So, this is the performance tip. So the performance tip, the number is T801, and okay, the stats for it are, let me get this right, it is 1 in runtime, and drop-in frequency, which is the frequency at which it drops from brink into the battle ring, is 5. So that's what the stats mean whenever I talk about it, so just to show you this runtime, drop-in frequency. So I guess the whole point is just saying it's gonna like ride it around pretty fast, I guess. So I get it now. When it says the brink, alright, I get it. It's when it rides that part, when it means run. Okay, I get it. So you see, I have to still get used to Rise because Rise got this new terminology and these new stadiums I kind of have to adapt to. But what I want to do now is I got this scale, and I know it might be a little bit pointless, but I got the scale. By the way, I don't even know if I showed this. It's got like this. It's a little hard to tell. There you go. You can kind of see the L there. It's like the L that looks like it's on Lunar. But the design in this does look pretty cool. Pretty cool. It looks cool in design. The weight for this is 8 freaking grams. 8 grams. To give you some comparison, this is what Dimension is. 6. These things are bulky and heavy. Not crazy heavy, but heavy. 6. What, 20.73? I actually only got 2 stars on that 6 disc. Solar, the base of Solar is about 8 grams. So let's try to like make some sense out of this. So if that's 8 grams, let me get like a normal GT base so we can kind of understand. Well, let's get Erase, which I compare this to. Erase is like 10 grams, right? So that's an example, but of what the weight is. And the chip, the GT chip is about 3 grams. So the GT chip actually is pretty average for what it should be. Usually GT chips, unless you're like obviously Diabolos, which you're gonna be heavy, they're usually pretty light, like 3 grams. Let me just get this, 2 grams. Yeah, so you see Hasbro, when it comes to at least the GT chip, is not screwing up there. Let me just get a slash space for an example. So, yeah. Put it on there. So 8.7, and obviously these things are gonna vary. So what I will say about this when it comes to the weight is that the only thing that sucks about these Rise bays is that the fact that they don't have the actual layer weights there, the metal part that actually helps give it the weight. But in terms of the chip and the base on its own, these bays are pretty close when it comes to GT, kind of, not really. So Solar Sphinx altogether is 11.98. So just to give you an example, I've got Slash Dragon Metsu, which is 19. So what does suck is that when you don't have all that weight to it that you desperately need, you really can't come close. And I only like to make this point here and there when it comes to this stuff, so just if people can understand. Like, listen to get this, I'll always use this as the example. Look, Bahamut with the no gen weight. See, 18 grams, right? So still, if Hasbro originally put the weight for these bays, and it was 3 parts, we could have easily had these Rise bays on the layers being on par with TT. It's not, so I'm just gonna put all the parts together. Solar Sphinx altogether is 41.43 grams. Now to make you get some perspective, an average GT bay is usually about 50 grams. So 10 grams, 9 grams lens actually, because that's 41. Just to give you an idea, I'm only gonna really talk about this heavily whenever it's like an actual Rise bay. Obviously later on when the series progresses, I'll probably won't mention as much, but yeah. All right, so obviously for an evolution, it's better than the original, that's factual. I mean, it's not hard to be better than trash. Either way, cool looking evolution. We're gonna do some battles against some Rise bays, and then we're gonna try it against some GT bays. We now have Solar Sphinx. We're gonna be doing a test launch in this stadium, and don't worry, I'll be using 2 different stadiums for this video. So one thing I wanna say is that with Beyblade Burst Rise, these bays are made for just the Hypersphere. I know what you're thinking. Isn't that like sort of like an obvious point? Of course these bays were made, no. Slingshot bays you could use in like a regular stadium, and the performance would pretty much like be like decent. They wouldn't be that bad. They'd be pretty close. With Hypersphere bays, it's honestly a disservice to not do it in a Hypersphere stadium, because they're just literally built for it. Like, these bays were made this bulky just for that stadium. Like, literally, that's the reason with these bays. So, look, too, these bays get so bulky now. And not necessarily like the layer, I mean like the performance dip. Like, these things get huge. So obviously we gotta do it against the previous evolution. I'm pretty sure... No! Yeah, you gotta be careful with that. I'm pretty sure we already know who's gonna take the cake. I just gotta slide, I keep on... In this stadium, it's slide shoot. When you do the slide shoot, yeah, you get that result. Ah, you never know with these bays. You never know with these bays. I'll probably make sure to cut this if it takes too long. Yeah, that's what happens against the previous evolution. I'll probably do more battles after. Now we're just gonna make it battle against some top tier turbo bays. Stop it. So we're gonna get some top tier turbo bays, like for an example, Dread Phoenix. Just see how it performs against it. Yeah, these bays do have some pretty cool attack patterns, I would say. Or not attack patterns. Attack types for these do the same. Do they just like attack pretty well, I guess? I mean, obviously it's just because the attack points are a little bit different. I'm still mad they gave this 6. I don't know why. Like, you really couldn't have thrown on like a Zenith disc or something, or like at least a 12? Really? 6? Whatever. Dread Phoenix taken down. We're gonna put it up against Air Knight. Look, you see, I want to show you 2 sides. Sometimes it destroys its opponent. Sometimes it clearly just doesn't. Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. That's how it works with these bays. Sometimes, I don't know. Like, that was like a one-hit KO. But then you see a little bit... I guess I really shouldn't say that. It's just because I guess the contact point is like that, so it's gonna hit the disc, and if it hits the disc, it's just gonna make it easier to burst them. But then after you just have things like this where you can just KO Air Knights like quickly. Well, not quickly, but you know, with like barely any difficulty. So we're gonna get to the next bay. It's gonna be Turbo Achilles. I don't know how well Turbo Achilles is gonna perform, but we're gonna see. Okay, we're gonna try that again with Turbo Achilles. Okay, Solar Sphinx versus Turbo Achilles. We're gonna see how Sphinx does. I guess that was, oh wow, actually no, the two things were out. All right, how far did Sphinx move? The slope didn't really move at all, okay. Moving on, we have got Geist Fafnir. Obviously, let's bring in a good Faf. Don't go too around. Don't go too around, Sphinx. Sphinx is just going all the way around. I don't know, it's gonna be really weird. I guess also I should also mention when you're gonna do Hypersphere battles, it's not gonna really make any sense unless both you and your opponent have a Hypersphere tip. Yeah, these bays are very like situational to only the stadium, so really you gotta keep that. I wanna hammer in that point just so people can get that. So regardless of how well or not well the bay does in this video, you just get the idea. Should have been in the stadium. Should have had the same, you know, parts. So Turbo Valtryek, I would say, is probably the best Hasbro out, at least right now that I can tell, for attack. Maybe Turbo Achilles, I guess, also. It did well against Turbo Valtryek. All right, last one is Turbo Spryzen. Turbo Spryzen's like the go-to test. It's like the best Hasbro bay out there. Okay. Oh, can it beat Turbo Spryzen? I don't think so. If it can, I'll be surprised. Yeah, can't beat Turbo Spryzen. To be fair, Turbo Spryzen is really tough. Did give pretty good hits, and to be fair, there's also like an attack type tip, so this is probably something like the Air Knight single with that tip would probably do a little bit better. But yeah, moving on. Solar Sphinx is going to be going up against Sphinx one more time in the stadium. You challenge me, smaller Sphinx, with your ugly appearance? I am Solar Sphinx, the stronger Sphinx. And Solar, take my Solar attacks. I don't know why that took so long. I was just waiting for it to hit and just do burst. Hold on. Come on, Sphinx, I believe in you. With that, that hit my head. How could you, Sphinx? Well, you know, clearly took down your Sphinx. Let's just see how it does against GT base, how well it performs. Okay, where's Bishin? Alright, come on. Yeah, I just like how it just like it does these weird patterns, then will stay in the center, but then after, yeah, you don't just go for it, do whatever. I guess the attacks were able, no, it was so close to doing a burst on Astra, no! Well, I mean, to be fair, Astra stock is kind of like the weakest GT, so I think we should also note how the attacks aren't really making it budge, right? I want to make sure whenever I cover it, I don't sound like I'm biased or whatever. It clearly is affecting Astra, but you can see that it's not really making Astra budge. Like that time, it barely even moved. Okay. I don't know what that... No, it hit the wall! Darn you, Sphinx! You're better than before. Don't lose to Ashura. Come on, it's Ashura. It's Ashura. Actually, that was really close to a burst. Sphinx! Finish it off with your final attack. Ah, there we go. All right, now picking on the weakest bay. We're gonna move on to a bay that's way better. Slash Valkyrie. I'm still a little bit peeved that on that 6 disc and how weird the bays are handled with Hypersphere. Actually, less on the second one, more on the first one. I just wish it had a better disc. Again, why not 12? Or 13? Certainly better than 6, right? Boy. Did not make Slash budge, eh? Alright, next round we'll decide it. Jesus. Hit the wall and then after just completely bounced. Okay, Sphinx, we're gonna try that again, eh? We're gonna try that again. For the record, I really love the design of Solar. I think, you know, cool design. I'm just like waiting on the hits. I'm like, hey, what's going on there, buddy? Okay, let's just clean up the stadium so I don't have any of the stuff from the previous matches I've done in this stadium. Okay, one more match against Slash, because I actually thought, you know, either Slash would just beat it in the battle or that. Alright, we beat Slash Belt. At what cost? Everything. No, I think I just hit my hand there. Alright, we're gonna make it go up against Union Achilles. We're gonna see how well it does. So far my impression on these bays can take a lot of hits, can't really give too much back, but can outlast GT bays. Okay, this is Union in power mode, so it has to be Union. If not, I'll be surprised. Because you can, you know, these bays are clearly Look at that, that was a good hit. That was a good hit. I'll also mention this since I don't know if I'm going to repeat it also in the other unboxings with this. So with the Hasbro, do I say GT system? Because they call it a GT chip. I'm just going to say the Rise system. So with the Rise system and how this stuff works, you cannot customize it with TAKARA TOMY. It's not interchangeable. You can't mod it. The only thing I could say you could do is if you want, you could break the slopes and maybe, just maybe, you could get like a Hasbro chip fitting on a TAKARA TOMY base, but even then you gotta break the It's so much work. You can't mod it. They made it sure that it's like Hasbro only. It's literally just gonna be like impossible. So it is what it is. I guess tell me your thoughts in the comment section below. Out of 10, for Sphinx, you know, with Sphinx, it did all right, but I still am not a fan. I think they picked a poor choice of a disc. Like 6 is a really bad disc to put on it. So,
true.
So, what would be your rating? Like a fair rating?
5.
5. Do you see how it performed?
Yeah.
Were you watching?
No.
Okay, it did like exceptional. It did like all right against the bays. It didn't really beat Union, but it outspun it in 1 round. 8? 7?
Okay, 7.
7? Alright. This is gonna be 7. I'll probably just give it like an 8. It's not crazy good, but it's alright. The solar base also is really interesting. It's gonna be it for now. Thank you for watching. Have a wonderful day. Here is the QR code section. So this is what Sphinx is. Just to show you. Air Knights. It's really easy. Just like pause the video and just scan it. Just figure to have all the wave at the end. Router. Yeah, there you go. Those are all the codes. You should be able to scan it. Pretty clearly showed it. And yeah, that's the entire wave of singles anyways. So just enjoy the QRs, and thank you for watching.